Textual Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
AB Supply, this is Richard.
Good morning, Richard. It's Robert.
Hi.
We were talking about some Kawneer stuff.
Yes, we were talking about powering it with AC, and you had a something that wasn't working correctly? Oh, and potentiometers,
Yes.
maybe? Okay.
Yeah, that NP1, and looking to see if there's something like a jumper that I need to put on it to be able to power it with AC, because it was originally set up with low voltage.
Yeah. So, okay, so this conversation is going to be about the NP1, and bear with me 1 second. Okay, so what we're doing is, you've got an NP1. Okay, let me look at the instructions.
Yeah.
So, in the instruction...
2 of them.
Yeah. Okay, so when we look at the installation instructions for that, or the wiring diagram, when you look at the black circuit board, or the green circuit board, whatever color it is, the new ones are black, on the right side is where you connect AC in, your black, white, and green. Or from top down, black, white, and green. So underneath the steel plate that the circuit board is connected to is where that incoming AC voltage gets transformed and downstepped to 24 volt, which actually is about 27, 28 volt DC.
Yeah.
And it's pumping out 1.5 amps. So on the left side of the circuit board, there's the DC in. The DC in, those wires are literally coming from all the all of the electrical equipment underneath the steel plate. Now, you can remove the AC voltage from the right side. You can then take a power supply that of your choosing, so long as it's producing 24 volts, not less than 3 amps, and connect it to the DC in. So, what that means is, you never power this to the circuit board with AC voltage. No matter what, the line voltage has to get transformed down, stepped down, and converted from AC to DC. Whether you let the equipment below the steel plate do it, or you do it with a completely separate power supply, it don't matter.
As long as my separate power supply is 3 amps.
You must have at least 3 amps. So,
which I believe it is.
Okay. Yeah, right. But there is no advantage at all to
making this work with the AC, so long as I'm pushing 3 amps of with the DC.
The only advantage would be is you want to use your own power supply to power the circuitry of the circuit board, because that's what you must have. So what's the original issue that you have? Is the retraction not occurring adequately? If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Yeah, so that's the next part of it. So originally when I went to this crash bar, and I took it apart, the mechanism where it's like it looks like a stepper motor, and it's, I believe, like a threaded part, and it pushes this cylinder to collapse the crash bar. That was ridiculously dry and just like sticky, so I assumed, and it wasn't fully collapsing, every time. So I lubricated that and assumed that was it, because the door was working well at that point. and it turned into a callback, and I go back, and the damn thing's doing the same thing again, where it's just struggling to collapse. So that's the next part of this conversation. Really, is the Kawneer units inside those crash bars a price to replace 2 of those?
Yeah.
I believe, I included a picture in the email of those units.
Yeah, I recall that. So the bottom line is, before you get to that step, you want to make sure that under load, your terminals 1 and 2, you're getting 1.5 amps.
Right. Right.
You want to make
Right.
sure that you're not getting more than that, or up to that. Then
Yeah. And so the test that I do, how I basically kind of roundabout determine that, is I put the multimeter on the wires right where at the drive unit, and activate the drive unit and see if I have a drop in voltage. Typically, that's how I test that. So if I activate the crash bar and it goes to activate and the voltage drops way down, I assume I don't have enough amperage, because it's kind of difficult to check amperage on the DC current. And so I'm not at the door now, obviously, but I believe I have done that. I don't think I have a drop in voltage.
right, and that's the whole point. We're isolating the power supply setup that you have as not being the problem.
Right, which I mean, honestly, between you and me, I really wasn't thinking that the power supply was the problem.
Right.
But my supervisor installed the crash bars to those power supplies and just noted when he did that it was wired really weird, because typically you have the AC powering those NP1s instead of the low voltage.
Right, exactly.
And that struck him as weird. And once we started having problems, he's like, okay, just go there and wire it to the AC so we know we're getting, the best that we can get with that unit. So it's not wired that way. I don't necessarily think it's a problem per se, but this is where we're at. So we're scrutinizing that connection, with those power supplies. But
so you can test that. I mean, provided that the DC, the wires on the left side are coming from the material under the steel plate, and you can plug it into the circuit board. Take your black, white, and green and connect them to the right side of the NP1, and then see, because maybe there's something flaky about that extraneous power supply that, as your superior said, was weird to see. So you could test that if you wanted to.
So you're saying, well, but the problem I had was when I connect the AC current to the MP1, it doesn't power up the board. Nothing happens.
Right, because on the left side, you've got to have the 2 wires coming from underneath the steel plate and plug them into the DC in on the left side, where you've just removed the other power supply.
Okay, yeah. See, this is the part that I'm not at the board, so I can't see what you're talking about. But so you're saying there's, do you think, is it a separate piece of harness or something that's going to be missing possibly?
Yep.
Okay.
When you have a brand new NP1, there's going to be a wire block that snaps into the left side of the NP1. It'll be really obvious when you see it. really, really obvious.
Right. Well, I got to take that board off and take a look at the underside, but most likely there's going to be connectors that I'm not going to have.
Yeah.
I'll try to get a look. I'll see it. I should be able to see online the back side of that thing, hopefully,
Right.
because I don't think I have an MP1 here in stock that I could mess around with before I go there.
Yeah.
Because maybe I mean, we got all kinds of different connectors and stuff. I might be able to, wrangle something up to get it connected. I mean, it's just 3 wires.
It's 2.
I don't know, 2. Yeah, well, 2 wires, but I would imagine I might be able to accomplish that somehow.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you will. It's just 2 wires, red and black. So now so that's a test that you can engage in. And I know that you're not there, but when you are looking at the circuit board, there's going to be 2 potentiometers, 2 volume knobs. It's going to be obvious.
Right.
Okay. If there's only one exit device and you're plugged into door 1, what that potentiometer does is as you rotate it clockwise to the F position, it increases the amount of retraction. How far the worm screw drives, that's where you control that. So before you go, before you go replacing anything, get your card or whatever triggers the switch, and set that potentiometer to like 1. Then go 25% higher, test it. Go 25% higher, test it. Continue on until you get the maximum retraction out of the potentiometer. You'll notice a difference, and you could remove the motor from the device if you want to flip it over to really see the worm screw move. So do all of that before you go changing. I am unaware of a detrimental effect of adding lubricant to that worm screw, but my experience tells me that that's a detrimental effect. So the answer to the question is about $2,200 for a brand new motor for that thing. An original Kawneer motor.
Yeah. So each motor unit is $2,200.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
But
they're so expensive.
Yeah, but you're going to go through all these tests before you spend any money.
Yeah. Well, when we go out, the customer has a budget for calls, and we charge $140 an hour. So, they're spending money. If we're on it, they're spending money.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's just, it.
Yeah,
I don't.
$2,200 though.
I'm saying I wouldn't want to enter your. I want to enter your order, but I want to enter your order until you're like, I absolutely need the new motor. We tested it according to our conversation, and I'm not getting the right sort of behavior out of it. So that would be really the next step.
Yeah. And so just to recap here for my knowledge here. That Kawneer setup with the screw drive.
Yep.
You do not recommend lubricating that. Is that what I'm getting?
I don't have an official statement from them on that, but and I will ask them, but I'm going to go with definitely don't lubricate that at all. Because it's not lubricated when you take it right out of the box. There's no white lithium.
Right.
There's nothing on it.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, this is some information. I'm going to take it back to my supervisor and see where he wants to go from here. I suspect we probably will be looking to order one of those Kawneer drives. This is at a storage place, and they really want this door working, properly as soon as possible. I'll be in touch with them too and see, and we'll figure out where we're going to go from here. So, is this? Do you have an actual, for sure, number on that drive? Is it 2,200 exactly? Could I quote that price if I need to?
No, not exactly, but I think it's 2206. Yep, 2206.30. I've got NP1s in stock, and I've got at least 8 of each. I've got at least a half a dozen of each of the motors, of the motor kits, and of the NP1s, should that be needed.
Can I, if you have it right in front of you, you want to give me a price on the NP1 too? I don't think we need those, but if you have it right in front of you.
$980.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all the information I think I need. So we'll take it from here and see how it goes, and I will be in touch with you.
Thank you. I'm glad you called.
Thank you. Thank you for all your time and your help. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Bye-bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.